here in Game 2. It looks like the game is starting. Can we make some noise one more time here, Cosmopolitan, IPL fans? All right, well, looks like the players look pretty damn focused, man.
Indeed.
And yeah, they gotta win this next match, and the game has begun. So down in the bottom right-hand quarter of Tal'Darim Altar, we do have the red Zerg player. His name, the weakened one to the back.
Indeed.
And it looks like now he's just gonna fall back and probably hold the tower for a little bit.
Yeah, he is going to fall back to the Xel'Naga. He's got a relatively good position on the map right now. Reactor building on that barracks, going to swap that out with the factory, and already adding more barracks. Very, very early to be adding these 2 Raxes. He's actually adding 2 more barracks before the factory even finishes. So I think we might see some very, very aggressive early game play here from Jjakji.
Yeah, it's usually most Terran players wait for the factory to finish and then get the second and third barracks. But because he started building the second and third barracks before the factory finished, yeah, could be aggressive play here. And we'll see what happens. IdrA now sending a couple of Zerglings to the front door. Not going to be able to get a scout in. I'm a little surprised he didn't send the Overlord over to that little ledge that I was talking about. He kind of backed it off. Creep spread out to the bottom of the ramp, and it looks like IdrA's going to be able to kill off about 3 Hellions, but he loses some of his Zerglings in the process.
Not a bad trade for IdrA there, though. I mean, he can afford to throw away a few Lings for a couple of Hellions. And, you know, the scary thing is when that Hellion pack is so large. If you can cut that Hellion pack in half by sacrificing a few Zerglings, hey, so be it. It's worth it, in my opinion. Now, Jjakji does have a pretty large bio ball here.
There's a Spire on the way as well,
There is a Spire on the way indeed. So IdrA looking to go Mutas here.
He's going to stick back to his roots here. This is the old IdrA's playstyle. You know, Mass Muta, Zergling, Baneling, which is the one that I'm actually a big fan of. I think it's a lot of action. It's very fun to watch. We do have another command center meanwhile coming up inside the main. Jjakji going to look to expand again. IdrA finally grabbing and claiming his third. Has not quite sure if he finished centrifugal hooks yet.
This could be problematic for IdrA, though. Jjakji swapped his starport onto the reactor. He built 2 medevacs immediately, and now he's following it up with Vikings. He has that bio ball already because of those Raxes that he built so early on. IdrA just now making the transition to Mutalisks, so he's really not going to have that many units. He only has a handful of Zerglings here. He doesn't have any defensive Banelings. He hasn't even started morphing
there's
them.
a drop inside behind the natural. At the same time, looks like IdrA had enough Zerglings back there, though, Pain User. But I'm surprised IdrA's not opting to make a couple of Banelings here. I believe he let the Baneling nest complete, and he has a Baneling nest ready to go. And right now, he is taking some damage. He's got to get those drones out of the way. Extractor will go down, and finally the Mutas arrive. And I believe IdrA, with the amount of Mutas and Zerglings, should be able to keep the natural safe. But the problem is he can't deal with that sweet spot yet. And this is what we were talking about. Now the Evo Chamber could go down. +1 armor is done for.
Oh man, what an opportune snipe there for Jjakji. Oh my god, Jjakji backed into the corner here. IdrA comes in with Lings and Mutas, cleans it up from the side, but keep in mind, guys.
He did lose some Mutas there.
He did lose some Mutas there, and IdrA hasn't been able to mine from his natural this entire time, so Jjakji doing some considerable indirect damage there, but also just killing some drones as well.
Well, good trading from both these players so far. Really can't give the edge one way or the other. I definitely think IdrA could have done without losing a lot of his Mutas, and now he's going to come in with the Zerglings and Mutas once more time, but too many Marines at that location. And finally, we have centrifugal hooks coming. I was a little worried there that he wasn't going to get Baneling speed.
Oh,
that's
it
so
happens.
important.
It happens, and that's the worst. It's almost as bad as Terran players forgetting
Siege. Or Siege.
Or Stim. It does happen from time to time, but you know, we were getting to the 12-minute mark, a little worried, but it is coming now, so he will have Baneling speed before the next conflict. Also, Jjakji does have that third base up and operational now. He's getting a planetary fortress there. He's working on his infrastructure. He's adding additional Raxes, adding additional factories, and just kind of hunkering down right now, building up that large Marine tank squad.
I will say one thing I'm worried about for IdrA here is the fact that he lost the +1 armor on the Evo chamber, meaning that his Zerglings are going to die in one shot to siege tanks. That's why you want to get that +1 armor, and he still has not invested into re-upgrading his melee encounters. There we go. It just started one more time. It's pretty delayed though, because as you can see, +1 armor and weapons for the Terran has just now finished. So Jjakji at a considerable upgrade advantage over the Zerg player right now, and IdrA's going to have to find a way to make up ground.
Yeah, he certainly is. Sniping that Evo, denying all the mining time, has certainly set IdrA back, and the supplies really reflect that. 129 to 129 at the 13-minute mark. Jjakji was actually ahead for a little bit there, and his army is starting to look quite menacing.
Yeah, and you know, IdrA, when he lost all of his mutas, he never really committed to remaking that clump. And when you make a Spire, I feel like if you're going to be a Zerg and make a Spire, you got to get a lot of mutas out, you got to harass, you got to pin the Terran back, and he hasn't been aggressive with his mutas this game so far, and that, I think, is going to allow Jjakji to be able to macro up, and it's going to be a problem for him.
You know, HD, that's a very good point. The Mutalisks have done zilch harassment. They haven't even been able to make it past, you know, the halfway point towards Jjakji's base. Jjakji just applying so much pressure isn't allowing IdrA to use the Mutalisks in a way that he would like, and it's really causing him all sorts of problems. Now we have Jjakji just creeping and inching on the creep, and oh no, IdrA's only creep tumors all getting sniped right now.
His creep spread was already pretty bad, and now he just lost whatever tumors he had at the front of his base. Not looking good for IdrA.
It's not even that his creep spread was bad. It's just that Jjakji's been in his face. He's been in this pocket the entire game, and really the spawns here, just such a great spawn for Jjakji.
Drop once again behind the natural. Plenty of Marine Zerglings trying to come in here, but there's too many Marines. Jjakji is going to go ahead and play it safe anyways and lift them up. But here comes IdrA coming from the west. Will he be able to get in there? Good fungal growths on the Marines, and the Zergling's going to be able to do a lot of damage, and the Banelings will surround. Everything's going to surround the tanks here. Nice job by IdrA, but Jjakji also pulling back.
All those Marines are in the deep red, though. They're so low. Look at the splits from Jjakji, though.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful Marine splitting from Jjakji. All Marines in the deep, deep red. Manages to save them all.
The natural, too, doing tons of damage. I was going to say, you know, IdrA coming off the creep, not good. He has to GG. Jjakji takes the game 2, and now it is tied up. Damn.
It is tied up in